Friends, what I'm about to talk to you about today can change the direction of your life. But before I begin, I want to make a small request from you. If you truly want change in your life, if you want to become strong from the inside, and if you want that in the coming time people respect you instead of ignoring you, then watch this video till the end and press the like button right now. Because your one like gives me strength and also gives me the confidence that you genuinely want to change yourself. And if you want to hear more real and heart-touching baton that shake your thinking and wake you up from inside, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we don't just talk. Here we talk about changing lives, and I promise you that if you understand today's message from your heart, you will not remain the same person you are right now. Now let's start with the truth we often run away from, and that truth is change yourself first. Because we all have this habit of blaming someone else for every problem in our life. If we don't get a job, we say the system is bad. If relationships break, we say the other person is wrong. If we don't have money, we say our luck is bad. And if people don't respect us, we say society's the problem. But we rarely stop and ask ourselves whether we have changed, whether we have improved our thinking, and whether we have strengthened our habits, because the truth is bitter, and the truth is that until a person changes himself, his circumstances do not change either. Just think about it. If a man wakes up late every day, keeps delaying his work, runs away from responsibility, and then says, "My luck is bad, that's why I'm not moving forward," then is his luck really bad, or are his habits bad? Because blaming fate is easy, but accepting your own mistakes is hard. And life changes only for the one who chooses the difficult path. The one who stands in front of the mirror and tells himself, "Yes, the mistake is mine, and I have to fix it." Let me give you an example. There was a boy who always said, "People don't understand me. My friends don't support me. My family doesn't back me up." But the truth was that he never listened to anyone properly. He never helped anyone, and he never completed his responsibilities on time. And one day his closest friend clearly told him, "The problem is less in the world and more in your attitude." At first he got angry, but later when he sat alone and thought about it, he realized that he wasn't even ready to change. And from that day, he started changing small habits like reaching on time, keeping promises, not replying in anger. And within a few months, the same people who used to keep distance from him started standing beside him, which means the moment he changed himself, the world also started looking different. We often say, "People don't respect me," but do we respect our own time? Do we respect our own dreams? Because the person who takes himself lightly is taken lightly by the world too. And the person who takes himself seriously values his hard work and stays firm on his words. Slowly, the world also starts valuing him, and that is why change does not start outside. Change starts inside. And one more thing, if someone gets angry at every small thing and then says, "People purposely irritate me," then the problem is not people. The problem is his nature, because in this world there will be all kinds of people. Some will praise you, some will criticize you, some will support you, and some will leave you. But you have control over only one thing, and that is your reaction. And if you change your reaction, then half the battle ends right there. Like there was a father who used to get angry a lot. He shouted at his kids, fought with his wife, and stayed stressed at the office too. And one day his little son said, "Papa, I don't like it when you shout." And that day he realized he was creating an atmosphere of fear inside his own home. So he decided that from now on, before speaking, he would pause, take a deep breath, and respond thoughtfully. And in the beginning, it was very difficult. Many times he shouted again, but slowly he learned to control himself. And after some time, the environment of the house completely changed, which means the moment he changed himself, his family also became happier. Change yourself first does not mean you keep blaming yourself. It means you take responsibility. Because the person who takes responsibility is not weak. He is strong. The one who blames others for everything is weak from the inside. And the one who says, "Yes, I have to change," is the one who moves forward. Changing yourself first is not just a single line. It is a process. It is a long journey that does not begin from the outside world, but begins from your mind and your heart. Because a person's real battle is not with anyone else. A person's real battle is with his own fear, his own weaknesses, and his own old habits. And until he accepts this truth, he keeps repeating the same mistakes again and again, and then keeps blaming fate. You must have noticed that whenever we start something new, in the beginning there is a lot of excitement. We say, now I will change. Now I will wake up early every morning. Now I will not get angry. Now I will work hard. But after a few days, those same old habits grab us again because change does not come only from intention. Change comes from a system. Change comes from consistent practice. And the biggest thing is that change comes when a person changes his identity. When he tells himself that I am the kind of person who respects time, I am the kind of person who does not give up, I am the kind of person who does not run away from responsibility. Think about it. If someone struggles with a lack of money every month but does not change the habit of spending, every time he says this time when my salary comes I will save, but the moment the salary arrives he spends it unnecessarily. Then at the end of the month he becomes stressed again and says my income is low. While the truth is that his mindset is small and his planning is weak. And if that same person decides that I will save first and spend later, I will control small expenses, and I will invest a little every month, then slowly his situation will start changing. Meaning the moment he changed his habit, his results also started changing. A person often thinks that change has to be huge for life to change. But in reality, life changes through small changes. Like if you work on your goal for just 30 minutes every day, if you reduce just one bad habit every day, if you read even one page of a good book every day, if you catch one negative thought daily and try to turn it into a positive thought, then after 1 year you will not be the same person because daily small improvements create a big difference. There was a boy who was extremely afraid of speaking on a stage. He always sat in the back. He felt people would make fun of him, so he avoided every opportunity, and then he complained that people don't recognize him and he doesn't get chances. But one day he decided that now I will not run away from fear. And he started taking small steps. First, he began speaking in front of his friends. Then he started saying one line in a small meeting. Then slowly he began giving full presentations. In the beginning, his voice used to shake and his hands would get sweaty, but he did not stop himself. And within a few months, that same boy became a confident speaker. People started listening to him. And now the question is, did the world change? No, he changed himself. He challenged his fear. All of us have some fear hidden inside. Someone fears failure. Someone fears rejection. Someone fears people's opinions. And this fear stops us from changing. Because change involves risk, change involves hard work, and change involves discomfort. But the person who learns to be comfortable with discomfort is the one who moves ahead. Just like when you go to the gym. In the beginning, your body hurts, but that same pain slowly turns into strength. When you run for the first time, you get out of breath. But after a few days, that same running starts feeling easier, meaning pain is temporary, but the benefit is permanent. Many people say, I am fine the way I am. I don't need to change. But if you are not completely happy with your life, if you feel you can do better, if you feel somewhere inside you are disappointed in yourself, then it means change is necessary. And this change is not to impress anyone else. It is to become better for yourself. Because when you are happy with yourself, the effect of the world's opinions becomes weaker. Another big mistake people make is that they want instant results. They work hard for 2 days, and on the 3rd day they say nothing happened. But habits built over years do not change in 2 days. Like if someone has been thinking negatively for 10 years, he cannot become positive in 2 days. He has to catch himself daily. And whenever a negative thought comes, he has to ask himself, is this really true? Or is this just my fear speaking? Slowly, the mind also starts getting trained because the mind strengthens whatever you repeatedly think. When a person truly steps onto the path of changing himself, the real test begins from that very moment. Because in the beginning, there is excitement, there is motivation, and there is fire in the heart. But after some time, the same path starts feeling difficult. Old habits begin calling you back. Old friends start making fun of you. The mind starts creating excuses. And that is exactly where the decision is made, whether you genuinely want to change or you were just motivated for a few days. Because changing yourself is not only about changing a habit, it is about rebuilding your identity. It is about saying goodbye to your old version and giving birth to a new one. You may have noticed that whenever you think about doing something big in your life, The first thing that tries to stop you is your own mind. It tells you that you can't do it. You have tried before. What will people say? What if you fail? And that inner voice freezes you in the same place. But the truth is that this voice is trying to protect you. It wants to keep you safe from risk. But if you stay inside that safe circle every time, you will never move forward. And that is why the third and most important step in changing yourself is learning to sit with your fear, understand it, and not run away from it. Let me explain with an example. There was a man who wanted to start a business, but every time he thought, what if I suffer a loss? What if people laugh? What if my family doesn't support me? And in this thinking years passed, he kept doing the same job that he was not happy with. Then one day he decided that I will not wait for fear to disappear. I will take action even with fear. He started something small. In the beginning, there were many difficulties. Many times he faced losses too, but he learned from every mistake. Slowly, his confidence grew. And after a few years, that small work became his identity. And now if someone asked him, how did you do it? He says only one thing. I first changed my fear, because as long as fear was controlling me, I was going nowhere. Changing yourself means taking responsibility for your thinking, because your thinking decides your direction. If you see only trouble in every problem, then your mind stops looking for solutions. But if you start seeing learning in every problem, then your mind starts finding ways. Like if someone did not get a promotion, he can say, my boss is biased and quit his job in anger. Or he can think, what skill do I need to improve so that next time I become a stronger candidate? In both situations, the difference is only mindset. And the moment mindset changes, the chances of results changing also increase. Many people stop on the path of change because they want instant recognition. They want people to praise them and notice them. But real change happens in silence, when you improve a little every day and nobody even knows. Just like a seed quietly grows under the soil without making noise. But when the time comes, that same seed becomes a strong tree. If the seed thought, I must give fruit right now, or I will stop trying, it would never become a tree. In the same way, you also need patience. Another truth is that on the path of changing yourself, you may feel loneliness, because when you change your thinking, not everyone understands it. When you start valuing your time, the people who waste time start finding you strange. When you stop complaining, the people who keep crying all the time may call you arrogant. But remember, every change feels strange first, then it feels difficult, and in the end it becomes normal. So never stop your change because of the fear of other people's opinions. There was a girl who always tried to keep everyone happy. She agreed with everyone, ignored her own needs, and remained unhappy inside. She felt that people take advantage of her. But the truth was that she never learned to stand up for herself. One day she decided that she will stay polite, but she will set boundaries. She will learn to say no. In the beginning, people found it weird. Some people even went away from her. But slowly she started finding real people who valued her, because she started valuing herself, meaning when she changed herself, the quality of her relationships changed. A part of changing yourself is also seeing your mistakes not as enemies, but as teachers, because the person who fears mistakes stops trying, and the person who learns from mistakes becomes better every day. If you have failed, ask yourself, what did I learn? If someone rejected you, ask yourself, how can I become better? If a dream broke, ask yourself, was this really right for me? Or do I need to learn something else? And when you start taking learning from every event, life makes you stronger every day. When you reach the final stage of this entire journey of changing yourself, you start understanding one deep truth, that change is not a destination. It is a way of living, because the person who learns how to change himself once does not break in any situation after that. He sees every setback as a signal that he still has to become better. He sees every loss as a message that he still has to learn more. And this mindset separates him from the crowd, because the crowd changes according to circumstances, but a winner lives according to his own principles. Now think about the last few years of your life. How many times did you blame someone, curse your luck, call the situation unfair, and later when time passed, you realized that if at that time you had been a little wiser, a little more patient, a little more hardworking, the result could have been different. That is the game of life. It gives us chances again and again to look at ourselves. to improve ourselves, but we get so trapped in outside noise that we forget to listen to the voice inside. The biggest sign that you are changing is that you start reacting less and understanding more. Earlier, if someone said something, you would get angry immediately. Now you pause and think whether this is really worth getting disturbed over. Earlier, when failure came, you would consider yourself useless. Now you understand that this is part of the process. Earlier, when someone left you, you would fall apart. Now you understand that what is meant for you will stay. This change is not always visible from the outside, but from the inside, it makes a person unshakable. There was a man who used to panic in every small problem. If his business faced a loss for one day, he could not sleep the whole night. If someone criticized him, he kept thinking about it for days. But slowly he trained himself to not treat every event like the final truth. He started telling himself, "This too shall pass." And the moment he learned how to keep his mind steady, the same problems that once looked like mountains started looking small, because the size of the problem did not change. The perspective of the person looking at it changed. Changing yourself also means you stop comparing yourself to others, because comparison always gives either ego or insecurity. If you are ahead of someone, you become arrogant, and if you are behind, you become discouraged. But when you start focusing on yourself, you understand that the real competition is with yesterday's version of you. If today you are even slightly better than yesterday, you are winning. And this thinking keeps you calm and also keeps you moving forward. Many people believe that when money comes, when fame comes, when people start recognizing them, then they will finally be happy. But if the thinking inside has not changed, even outside success feels empty. You must have seen people who look very successful but remain restless inside because they changed external things, but they never changed themselves. And you will also see people living an ordinary life, but feeling satisfied because they learned how to control their mind. So real change is not in your bank balance. Real change is in your mindset. Understand one more deep thing. When you change yourself, you become an example for the next generation. If a father improves his habits, stays disciplined, and works honestly, his children learn by watching him. If a mother learns to respect herself, sets boundaries, and values her dreams, it impacts her children, meaning your change does not only change your life, it also influences the world around you. And the most important thing in the end is that in the process of changing yourself, do not stop loving yourself, because many times people keep blaming themselves in the name of improvement. They punish themselves for every mistake. But remember, you are human. You will make mistakes. Sometimes you will feel weak. But the difference is that now you know how to fall and rise again. Now you understand yourself. Now you do not stand against yourself. You stand with yourself. And that is real strength. When you reach this level, the direction of life becomes clear. You start understanding what you need to do, who you should stay with, who you should distance yourself from, where you should invest your energy and where you should not. Because now you do not flow with emotions. You make decisions with awareness. And this awareness makes you different. The summary of this entire journey is only this. Do not waste your energy trying to change the world, change yourself, raise your thinking, strengthen your habits. Keep your character clean, because when character is strong, no matter what the circumstances are, a person does not bend, does not break. Instead, he moves forward in every situation.